Market sentiment today is a little bit more on the bearish side of things. I'm wrapping up one of my current short positions on Nvidia. Just so you guys could see, I just opened this short position as we broke below that EMA. I entered with 1,500 shares. I've been shorting this one since my live trading session today with the LPP team. It became very overbought. I opened up short as we came back to retest. I, carried that short and then continued to make lower lows and lower highs. Therefore, I added more to that short trade as it continued to sell off. As of right now, it looks like direction is more bearish than bullish. How can I have that understanding? Well, first off, not even looking at indicators. One of the first thing that stands out is the lack of progress on the upside. Anytime that we try to uptrend, it makes a lower high and then it sells off. It goes back up. It doesn't go as high as it did before. It sells off. Again, the lower highs and the lower lows. There is more selling pressure than there is buying pressure. Now, does this have to continue for the rest of the day? Heck no, right? Market's been incredibly bullish. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. And you can see that on the 1 hour time frame, it's simply pulling on back to that EMA line. Overall, Nvidia is still extremely bullish and something that could continue to go up. I'm just talking about today. As a trade, yes, I'm making money as this thing begins to sell off, and I'm going to close out my short position today. I have no intention of carrying that position overnight. One thing that I found to be pretty interesting, again, I like to talk not just about the bad, but also the good, even when it's in the red. Nvidia's this article states that Nvidia made investors $764 billion richer in the past 8 days. If you guys haven't been paying attention, Nvidia has been on a hot streak since its overall lows from $90 to overall highs of 130. I think it's really interesting to see articles only shed light on all of it, all that it made, but it never talked about this when Nvidia went from $137 per share all the way down to $90 per share. Because I think that was a total of 10 or 14 days, if I'm not mistaken, and it went from overall highs to overall lows. So therefore, it actually lost investors much more than what we've made. It probably lost investors, close to $800 to $900 billion in that given period. But of course, on the recovery, the market always has to highlight how much investors have made, although it's not really much in the sense of, it's not that it's making this money out of nowhere. It's that it lost all of that money and it's simply gaining it back. So I think it's really important to understand the context of when, these articles come out and talk about, oh, wow, investors made $764 billion. Well, no, right? They lost that money the weeks prior and they simply gained it back. So for everyone, just like Nancy Pelosi, that purchased right around 130 per share when she added more in the month of June or July. Pretty much now she's break even, although she was down at 1%. 20%, and then now is back at where she previously was. When looking at the overall NASDAQ market, a very similar setup to Nvidia, extremely bullish for the past 8 days. Again, the big question that everyone was asking is this finally going to be closing out that 8-day winning streak that the S&P 500 had? And it looks like it might be, right? Because we have QQQ pulling back, we have the rest of big tech pulling back, and if we look at SPY, it also looks like it's in the red. It's not a very significant red day, but I think it was just a red day that was long overdue, right? There's a lot of momentum that was driving the stock prices up. Nvidia still has to report earnings. We still have some companies that are going to be reporting earnings this week that you might want to pay attention to, such as Target, Toll Brothers, and then we also have, what was the other one that I was going to be paying attention to? I think it was Snowflake or Zoom. I have to double check. But nonetheless, we do have a handful of companies reporting earnings this week, but mainly this week, it's focused on retail. Next week, we have Nvidia that's going to be reporting earnings, and that's going to be a much more significant earning report that could change the direction of the overall market. Remember, Nvidia is a $3 trillion company based off of its current market cap, and based off of it exceeding expectation or coming below will determine if we see an abundance of buying or selling pressure based off of what the market factors in advance and what is actually reported. But don't worry, again, my job is to make you aware of everything it is that the market is preparing to do with all these different economic reports and earning reports that are about to be released. So if you ever want to make sure that you get kept up to date, all I ask you to do is subscribe to the channel, drop a thumbs up, and as the videos come out, then I'll make sure that I do my part in making you aware of what exactly is being reported. So I appreciate your time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. If you ever wanted to tune into our live trading sessions, just like I said, I traded live this morning. They were able to catch my significant shorts on Nvidia. You get to see all of my good days, all of my bad days, and that's that second link in the description down below. Just click it, sign up, and you can watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.